Attachments. Everyone loves them, everyone uses them. They're great, but kinda confusing. Like stocks for example. This one has a large aim drift reduction, while this one just reduces the aim drift. What's an aim drift? Who knows? So fuck it, let's find out. I'm BlueGB, and in this vid, we're going to be exploring all the ins and outs of the attachments in Apex Legends. First off, I'd like to say that anything I talk about in the video could change in the future, and not all of the information about the attachments are included. I've just compiled a list of the most useful quirks and things you need to know about the attachments, and a couple misconceptions and myths the community seem to have about them. Alright, let's start off with the attachment most people get confused about, the standard stock. The standard stock improves handling and reduces aim drift. Aim drift is kinda self-explanatory, but here's the difference between the white and purple stock. The one on the left has no stock, while the one on the right has a purple. The higher level stock simply reduced weapon sway, making them slightly more accurate to control. There's a small difference between the two, but it's actually surprising how much it helps in game, and you can especially notice the difference in the snipers. The handling part is a little less on the nose. The handling is the weapon's swap time, with the stock reducing a percentage of the weapon's base swap speed. This works by reducing the weapon's raise and lower time. The level 1 stock, or the white stock, reduces it by 15%, the level 2, or the blue stock, reduces it by 25%, I have an eyelash on my eye, fuck, and the level 3, or purple, reduces it by 35%. There's already a great video explaining these differences in detail by TheXclusiveAce, which I highly recommend checking out. But basically, all that means is the weapon will be drawn and holstered faster, with the stock reducing the weapon's base raise and lower time by a percentage. A good tip is to always keep your higher level stock on your slower guns, such as the Spitfire or the Flatline, and use the worst stock on your SMGs, like the Volt, due to the stock reducing the weapon's swap speed by a percentage instead of a set amount. Next up, we have stabilizers, which are far more simple. Stabilizers reduce a percentage of a gun's recoil pattern and spread randomness. For those of you who aren't familiar with recoil in FPS games, most games follow a very similar structure when it comes to recoil. Each weapon will have a fixed pattern, and the weapon will follow this pattern for the duration of the spray. The randomness, or spread, is added throughout the spray, adding slight variations to the recoil patterns. In games like CS, this randomness is barely noticeable, but in Apex, you can notice a massive difference in the spray patterns when using a gun without a stabilizer. The exact figures and percentages can be found on the Apex wiki, but aren't particularly important. What is important, however, is the golden stabilizer. The perk of the golden stabilizer is reduced muzzle flash, but things are far more complicated and awkward than that. Before the most recent patch, gold stabilizers actually used to be worse than the purple variant. Back when Respawn removed muzzle flash entirely, they also removed the gun's barrel smoke, which is simply the smoke emitted from the gun when fired. The issue was that they didn't actually remove this smoke for the gold variant, and it was actually pretty noticeable in darker areas of the map. Luckily, this has mostly been fixed, but the issue still remains. The difference now is so minor that it's not even worth worrying about in my opinion, and it's actually the reverse for most guns now. Just keep in mind that energy guns are by far the guns which benefit the most from the gold stabilizer, due to removing the annoying electrical effect. Before I end the video, I want to mention a couple misconceptions people have with a couple of the attachments. I've heard people theorising that scopes with increased zooms reduce the weapon's recoil spread, and while I can't confirm if it reduces the recoil's randomness, I can confirm that it has no impact on the actual recoil pattern of the gun. Another myth I've heard is that the bolt not only affects the fire rate of the shotguns, but affects how fast the weapon fires after pulling the trigger. This is also incorrect, and has no impact on the delay between you pressing the fire button and the gun actually firing. I hope these tips help you in the release of Season 7, and I'd appreciate any feedback or support you have from me with these types of videos in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you subscribed and maybe liked the video. I'm live every day on Twitch streaming Apex, so you can check me out there as well if you'd like. Enough from me though, good luck, and I hope to see you at the launch of Season 7.